longer and bring your casters into this match. It's Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, Insu. Yeah, Mimi mentioned it, Icebox to kick us off. We've got to talk about the Sage transition, moving away from the Harbor towards that pick. What are your thoughts?
I think it has a lot to do with the attacking side. I mean, they want to set the pace. They want to get the bomb down. I mean, they had no success at all against T1, but I think that can work into their favor, Doug, because when you lose that badly, you didn't really show much of anything, and they were able to watch so many rounds from Heretics on this composition. And G2 is a heavy prep team, so they might come fielding a lot of unique ideas that will counter the way Heretics like to play this defensive side.
And they've made a living of studying their opponents and knowing them in some ways better than they know themselves.
And not only their opponents, but specifically shutting down the enemy duelists.
Yeah.
They're so good at that. We've seen them do it with Ospas. They've seen them do it time and time again with all the duelists here.
Yeah. I mean, they did it domestically. Now they're doing it internationally. But this is a big ask, man, because Wood has taken this tournament by storm.
Oh, he's been phenomenal all tournament long. And I mean, he's getting more and more comfortable on this role. And he said he feels a lot of pressure, but
you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, he goes so aggressive at times, especially on this side of the map. That's a great shock dart to get some chip damage onto Leaf to start the round.
Has a Sheriff to work. Not a ton of noise made in this round so far. See the drone now moving forward a little bit, trying to venture out and see what it can sniff out on the site.
And the whole point of using that drone so early and from a safe spot is to see if anybody pushes B. Whereas in the last match for Heretics, there were so many players, Woot, and I believe it was Boo, that would push through B together time and time again. So you already see that spread default they're holding for the re-aggression. And Jonah P was trying to catch anybody off guard, but Heretics, they were wise to just chill out, play a very slow round.
I mean, G2 are glad to do a lot of the same, and part of that is because they don't have a duelist to be the engage, to be the spark, to be the go.
Yeah.
But as the wall goes up, Woo's Ghost.
That's a free bomb line
to
as
get
well.
through it. You see those mollies that are going to cause problems. They haven't committed to the plant yet. They've tried, but they have not succeeded. Now 10 seconds left, and a second attempt at getting the spike down. Meanwhile, Boo dancing in between the panel. It's been left open, trying to find a couple of kills. But G2 have made it this far. They've gotten the spike down. Wood on the dash out. As the round comes to a halt.
A lot of players low HP, Doug.
Yeah, and a dare from either side. Who's going to be the first to swing? Who's going to be the first to go? Benji Fishy finding 2 big kills. Icy on the swing, not able to steady it. He got close, but it was not enough. Heretics with the pistol.
Clutch round from Benji Fishy, who in the last series they played, I mean, he was a big star for them on that Cypher role. And this time it's the Killjoy. It's the trading and the spacing of Heretics that's so impressive with this team. And that was a big factor of why they made it this far so in this tournament.
Benji Fishy's just been a rock for this team, man.
Yeah, he's been stellar all tournament long.
He's just so steady. You wouldn't think he's as young as he is. The maturity that he shows on stage, the composure that he competes with.
I mean, the whole team of Heretics, they're a bunch of young guns.
Yeah.
That's what's so impressive to me. They're so early on in their careers. They're already this good. Will be an anti-eco for Heretics. Boo already picks off Leaf towards that B side of the map.
At early peak, just not going his way.
And this is a whole different pace change from Heretics so far. They're not going for the Woot show where he's just pushing up A main every single round.
Well, not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Give it time.
But that's what's so beautiful about their adaptations in the match-to-match setting, is that now G2, they were waiting for it even from the pistol round, but they didn't give it all. And then that clock ran down so low. And now aggressive off the utility, it's really clean so far from Heretics.
Very well considered.
And G2, I mean, they don't really have much to work with at this point. You do have that little Viper lurk orb, but it's kind of obvious when you put it up in the middle of the round after getting shut down B, getting shut down A.
Yeah, there are only so many other places you can go.
Yeah, and this turret's going to get the info for sure. And maybe even a conversion for Benji Fishy to get another ultimate orb. Oh, he dinked him.
And he kills Jonah P.
Good stuff so far.
More than halfway to his ult now.
Icy does slip on by here. He might get a little sneaky kill on Arians. He's met with a Sheriff to the face.
Dude, it's a jump scare. Valorant's a horror game.
It was a horror game for sure in that moment. The Potatech will end up cleaning up the round.
Nicely done by Heretics. They're only dropping re-ends, and Benji Fishy is going to have to buy up a little bit as far as armor. Woot will have to as well, but I mean, that's a great round for them, all things considered. And you're right, they were able to apply pressure on really every single lane in the map. And when you're clicking that early and you're starting to get a read on how the opposition likes to play, that's a great start.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, that shot is crazy.
Beautiful from Boo. That's that jump scare that we saw. I mean, I'm surprised nobody hit the little mouse wheel jump right there. I mean, we saw so many of those this tournament so far. We will be going into the gun round, though.
A Sheriff for Rians, an Outlaw for Woot, and Presence B from G2.
It's a nice B default.
Oh, I love that so much. Not able to punish on it, but the idea is great. You have Boo come out and clear it, and he still gets the best of Allen, but he's the one who clears out the drone, and then Woot swings behind it.
That's the Sage wall down, too, so now it's going to be so hard to get that bomb planted for G2. Kind of have to even the numbers here.
The middle of the map is just not open. It took a couple of shots, it was labored, but they haven't really been able to gain any traction there.
Yeah, Leaf almost survived with his life there, but Benji Fishy with the tags through the wall and everything, I mean, it's too nice. It's too nice right now from Heretics.
Meanwhile, Woot is still playing on this B-long angle. Still with the Outlaw.
And I wonder now if you're G2, if you're wondering, maybe we should have stayed on that harbor to deny these lines.
Oh, surely it's too early to be thinking like that.
It might be, but it's definitely been working against them, even on that B default.
Sure.
Start.
30 seconds left.
Still early on, though. You're 100% correct.
And they still, they have the utility to be able to get past this. There are only 2 rifles left, though.
Oh,
Jonah Patience in a really good spot. Is that what the P stands for? Patience?
Yeah, Jonah Patience.
Look at this. Don't botch it, though. Don't botch it, though. Nicely done. 3 on the round for him, but he's going to have to close out the round on his own. And it was just too much with Patatech on the other side.
That's all they could have wished for in that moment. They were already down 3v5. Player got tagged up by that Outlaw.
But honestly, for as much as you'd like to go, like, yeah, okay, we were able to get a couple, we dropped some weapons out, a couple of confidence kills, whatever. You don't want to start on the attack side. Yeah, it's another kill
from Boo again.
That's twice that he gets away with that. You just don't want to start this half this way.
Yeah, no, losing the bonus, losing pistol into bonus has got to be the worst feeling in the world as a player.
Yeah, there's a lot to like on the Heretic side so far. 6-0 for their Sentinel, 1 away from his ult. Really, all of them are starting to come online. That engine's revving up.
Yeah, they're going to really reap the benefits after this round. If they can win it cleanly and maybe even grab that A-orb at some point. I mean, they have 4 players here. Why not?
Yeah.
Standing ahead.
Like this dart. Yeah, here we go. He's just going to grab the orb. Oh, maybe not.
Or
they're going to get even more aggressive.
Or they want to fight.
G2,
forget the orb.
Yeah, G2 need to punish this, though.
2 here. And Woot goes over the top. There's no way Leaf knows.
Brother.
What a beautiful setup.
Look at the tracking on that, too. The shots from Woot. Such a pleasure to watch this man play the game.
G2 are getting pushed around early here.
And Heretics are ahead of this. They have 4 players still here. Patatech is tucked on top of screen, too. There's so many layers of this defensive side setup to not get cheesed.
Yeah, they saw 2 in A with the drone. And then they have so much KJ utility on the other areas of the map to be able to keep things back. Woot snap again. Oh, and he's looking to strike terror into the hearts of G2, and they're doing it. A flawless round as Heretics get to 4.
And now you start to wonder for G2, if you lose this next gun round, the second gun round. Oh, here's that replay again of the tracking from Woot. This was such a nice shot. Look at this. Yeah, he saw him the whole way and he was wall hacked, but he still executed on it. That was what was most impressive. And what I was getting to was, for G2 now, you got to start wondering, are you feeling the same feelings as you did against that T1 team? When you drop 13-1, if you lose this next gun round, it's getting scary for you.
Yeah, those bad memories, they linger. They hang around longer than you'd like them to, that's for sure.
So much of this game is based off the mental and the fortitude that you can have with it.
Right. Confidence is king. And right now it seems like G2 are lacking it in droves.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
Oh, they may have something going on here. Valen was tagged by the Sova util, but Icy's Thrash going forward, but they haven't cleared Woot.
He hasn't moved.
He hasn't had to.
Yeah, he held his ground the entire round, and now he gets all the info that everyone's leaning towards B.
Without being found.
I guess they aren't really ahead of that, though, because the KO and
Calling my bot.
Pat Attack and Rians are still not rotating over. Just now, we see Pat Attack rotating over. But the stall from Heretics, it should be enough to delay this.
I mean, they have so many spits and mollies sitting here.
Oh, actually, those shock darts from Trent did a really good job of denying that delay on the bomb. It still goes down, though. To spam, maybe?
Yeah, it seemed like it. A second attempt at getting the spike down will be delayed as Boo falls. The pit's still in play for the attack side.
30 seconds left.
Round wins have been elusive up until this point. They've got to find a way to convert here. This feels like the best chance they've had so far. The need to capitalize on an opportunity as they all swing. Benji Fishy with 2. And Rians is going to have to do it on his own. He has an ult in his back pocket.
The time might work to his favor here if he decides to go
Planted.
for the Sobal. Guess he doesn't.
Not yet. G2 taking a step back.
Huh?
Now committing to it.
Okay.
Oh my God! The tag will not be found, but Jonah P on the swing. The spam not connecting.
It almost did.
He's gotten across though. Rians has introduced a lot of fireworks into the seconds that we've had, but time is short. Jonah P gets his third as G2 are finally on the board.
Yeah, the professor closes it out there, but that was a really ambitious Sobal, and when he converted that first kill, I was there. I was here for it. I believed for a split second that there was a chance. How did this go down?
Oh, spam from Nest.
Oh, wow.
That's a crazy timing to be able to hit as the pit was going up. Fortunate. This position here from Jonah P is perfect.
Yeah, his reposition, running past his Viper pit, it was still up, maybe just going down. But that puts a lot of players on light armor and even a stinger buy for G2. So even with Heretics losing that round, they dropped so many rifles, only one player stayed alive, and now you have an operator online for Woot.
Yeah, the situation looks grim early.
Oh.
Woot doesn't miss those very often.
Oh.
Well, now that's 2.
That was a bit tighter of a jump spot, though. Those ones are really hard to hit.
Yeah.
He might be overstaying his welcome here.
He's going to get pushed off this angle. Lockdown will flush him away.
On the other side, Benji has his own lockdown, so G2 are going to have to push all the way forward. And are they aware that there's a gap in this wall?
Still not connecting, but Rians does. The wall goes up, Icy gets the plant down. That op has failed to sing a song of success this round. But it's been close, it's been tempting, it's been tantalizing.
And that Killjoy ult, it doesn't really get too much value. It will force a lot of players back from at least default.
But they still have so much utility that they can play around. They aren't really being flushed out of the space, you're right. Really far back. Glad to take the fight in front of him. Strength gets 1.
A nice back and forth so far. And Woot, he's going to have to come up huge right here with this operator, but Icy will sit him down.
I believe it was 4 shots rattled off and not a single one connected as G2 get their second.
Nicely played round from G2. Just settling the score in that post plant. Baiting out Benji Fishy's ultimate into that kitchen area. And Icy just getting out of dodge. I mean, he was playing that default area to be able to potentially disrupt Benji Fishy and try to kill him before that lockdown comes out. But when you use the lockdown from such a far position, it kind of plays into G2's hands because on their post plants, they're so dialed, they're so rehearsed.
Right.
They play together, they get the trades like in that scenario.
Uh-oh, Blades online for Woot.
Oh, they broke the molly for him too on top of pipes. But this dart in the updraft.
The op didn't really connect on anything. Can the Blades tell a different story?
I mean, he's striking fear into G2. You can tell G2 do not want to give him any 1v1s at all.
And he's trying. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's kind of what I talked about. They're so good at denying enemy duelists from getting kills, getting momentum going. And Woot, I mean, he's trying his darnest to do that.
Turrets destroyed.
So far, it's been the duelist Benji Fishy who's finding success. Turns out he was the final boss.
Yeah, I mean, he could be. I mean, if the duelist isn't your win condition against a team like G2, it allows opportunities for players like Benji Fishy to have to step up.
And he's just gotten his 10th kill. 10-2 so far as Leaf falls. That knife got so much value, it slowed everything down, and now with what, a little under 40 seconds left, G2 have a massive decision to make.
And they can't go back. I mean, if they go back, they're going to be met by Woot's knives.
30 seconds left.
So it's just going to be a weird game of cat and mouse right here. It looks like they do want to maybe go back, but that's... The time running low is the cue for Woot to just speed up here, and if Trent uses this Hunter's Fury, he's going to get flanked.
He's a sitting duck. The Knives looking to get active, but forget about it. Benji Fishy gets his 4. Woot gets the last, as Heretics get another.
And normally on a map like this, it's the Leaf Show. I mean, he's played phenomenal on this map on the Killjoy. Yeah, it was a different comp, but I mean, he's staying the same. And he's getting diffed right now by Benji Fishy by a mile.
That knife got so much value.
Yeah,
I mean, it threw brakes on this round so hard.
Whoa! That's how he got those kills?
It's criminal.
That was insane. What good spray control from Benji Fishy. That will cause G2 to use a timeout fairly early on here. 5-2 scoreline. Heretics just, they've been in the driver's seat all game long.
Yeah.
From the pistol round, the conversion on the bonus.
I want to get your thoughts on the timing of this timeout, though, because it's not like you've been hit in a couple of rounds and you're down 0-4 and you're like pressing the panic button, right? This feels like, yes, they're down, but this feels like really good timing out from Josh, the head coach for G2. He's had a couple of rounds to sit and watch things out and kind of see what the adjustments are, and it doesn't feel as panicked, I guess. What are your thoughts?
I definitely don't feel like it's a panic timeout. I mean, the economy right now for G2, you guys can't see it, but it's not looking good. It should be an anti-eco, I believe. So this timeout is mainly for that next gun round. They need to convert it. You have to convert the gun rounds. If you lose another one, that's when you're going to start hitting that panic button and freak out.
Yeah.
So giving his team 2 rounds to kind of get their mind right, getting back into the zone for that actual gun round, that'll be good. But as I say that, it's actually a force buy into the round. So they're trying to catch Heretics off guard. This is a big moment to change the tide, swing the game into their favor. If they can steal this one away.
It's a big heist if they want to pull it off. And I mean, it's just so damn difficult.
Bad Attack is so clean with his mechanics too. I mean, everybody from Heretics. I feel like every other round, somebody's just getting a 2K or 3K, all headshots. I barely see them get body shot kills. Maybe Woot will with the up, but honestly, I wouldn't doubt if he gets a headshot too with this gun.
As the dash expires, the crosshair still held. It's on Jonah P to try to at least apply some pressure, create some space. It's manipulating rotations as Rian goes back B.
All he has is a stinger here, though. He's taking his timing.
I like this. It's really just intended. I mean, if he can find some space, that's great. Create a little chaos in the round, why not? You've got plenty of time here, too. All that info. You hear the drone out, you hear the footsteps, he's now gonna get caught, but is that enough to bring him back? Because G2 are already rotating back B. They might have gotten ahead of this, but not the way they wanted to.
Heretics are playing this so safe, so disciplined. I mean, Jonah P got no value here besides that space gather like you were talking about.
And honestly, as they're filling back into the space, it might be their demise because, again, Heretics are already here. You've got Patty who's already here, you've got Rians who's here.
With a third to the round.
He's already gotten 3.
Player standing.
Wow. Fallon gets the spike down, but yeah, win the 1v5 now. That's just so tough.
That was beautiful play from Heretics. They understood that there could have been a timing of Jonah P creeping up there. And for Rians, who was top site, to back all the way up into kitchen there in that tunnel and then use the drone to find out if that timing was a thing. Oh, these shots, by the way, insane.
So steady, man.
Insane. Made it look effortless.
Just an easy little tap.
He gets a spam kill. But that drone from Rians, that was all the info needed. And
they tried
boo.
to double swing me on the belt. Who are these guys?
I mean, when you're shooting like that, like, yeah, okay. I respect it. I respect that.
He has a point, though. They didn't really double swing him. Like, the timing of it, the spacing wasn't really there.
Yeah, they gave him ones.
Normally, the spacing will be a little bit tighter for G2, and the trade could have been there. But Rians, I mean, the desk was talking about him, and yeah, he's not sitting at the top of the scoreboard like Benji Fishy, but his impact with just the utility was great that round.
Dizzy goes up, goes back down with no info found.
This is like the 3rd time in a row now that Patatek has denied that drone really early on with the KO dagger.
Yeah.
He's saving it for that drone. So G2, in the future rounds, they need to try to bait that out first, or maybe walk up and explode right on top of him as that drone is coming out. Speaking of explosions,
Wu just made up for the other shots he missed a couple of rounds ago. With 1 taking down 2.
And he got a headshot. These guys always get headshots even with the operator. So much mechanical talent on Heretics. And to think that this isn't even their starting roster.
You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
With how good they've looked this tournament, nothing feels forced or hurried or panicked. It all feels like it's all part of the plan, and every single facet is executed to bloody perfection. We've been waiting to see when these kids are going to slow down. When are they going to meet a little resistance? When are they going to, you know, show signs of weakness? It's not happening, at least on Icebox.
I don't know, and I'm so impressed by the different change of pace that they're showing. In FPX, it was kind of like a brawl. Yeah. It was an all-out brawl. This is that second timeout. This is the panic button. Timeout for G2. Here's the replay of that. Collat.
That's tough, man.
I mean, it is tough because you kind of are learning from the last round of swinging together, and then you do that and do an op and you get collatted.
You swung two together now. There's gonna be an in-between.
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah.
G2 are in a really tough spot right now in these future rounds. They just haven't really had success apart from those B post plants that they got. But they're not really able to get the bomb down at all now. Heretics, although they're not running it down like I was saying about that FPX game where it was like a big brawl, they're still disrupting. They're still getting kills. It's just more passive of angles, passive of lines.
Yeah.
And we're seeing now maybe the problem with switching to a new composition, although it's one character, your defaults are a little bit different. Now all of a sudden you can't deny that operator value. Like whereas when you had that Harbor Cascade, you could have walled him off and kind of forced a fight where you know he's gonna take it. But now you don't really have those options with running the Sage opposed to the Harbor.
Yeah, I think part of the other issue too is this comp. I mean, you can see the genetic makeup for it is to commit to getting the spike down.
Yeah.
Right? You've got the wingman, you have the wall, you have slow orbs to deny any sort of spam. You've got all of that stuff. So I think for Heretics, they're able to dial in on that. As soon as you see this like set of chain utility going in, they're here, they've committed. Like, it's really hard to draw pump fakes where Harbor allows you to do that so much more.
And a lot of that has to do with the way Patatek's been using this knife, denying all that info utility and not giving G2 any type of space. This time he uses it really early on. And G2, if they want to get anything going right now, they need to take advantage of that cooldown timing of that KO dagger to, you know, cycle their utility onto the site and actually be able to scale up.
The problem is they use their recyclable utility at the same time. Benji Fishy, again, finding another kill.
He's just good for one every single time. And that's
and honestly, that's on a bad round for him.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And it's against Leaf, who he's been so crucial for G2's success on a map like Icebox. I mean, he's been dropping 27 bombs, 30 bombs. He kind of is that duelist that we're saying Benji Fishy is right now.
Yeah.
For G2.
Right.
And him going down early like this, he's got no momentum.
He's 4-10. Maybe the defensive side will tell a different story, but G2 have just had wheels spinning in mud this entire half.
And there's no pressure B right now, so Woot, I mean, he had that line the entire time. It allows his team to just stack over towards that A side. He might be, he almost got the timing.
He's gonna peek ahead of this. My goodness!
He's so fast.
He's so bold.
Oh, there's
reckless approach. He even deals a couple of warning shots through the crack. Yeah, the shorty might not do it, but that angle and op will. They can't even commit to getting a spike down here.
I mean,
there's nobody around it.
Look at Rians.
They have to frag out, and G2 can't.
Rians. I mean, if you go 1-for-1 against Benji Fishy, all of a sudden you're running into the operator of Woot, who's running through a Viper smoke to get a kill, dashes out instantly, and then you just have Rians on the other side of the site playing a Sova anchor towards that snowman area. There's so much to deal with. I mean, that's instantaneous. You cannot trade that.
No. And then also,
it's so fast. They weren't even ready. Players of G2 didn't have their gun out.
No, that's the kind of play that makes you feel like, dude, we can't find success.
Can't do anything.
Because if he's disrespecting our orbs like that, he's going to take these aggro peaks. He's just going to, not run at you, but in a lot of ways run at you.
Yeah.
You're left scratching your head. What do?
G2 have been playing for that initial layer, that initial run-up, that initial aggression, but they're not ready for the mid-round aggression.
Right.
And that's...
second layer, the third layer.
Exactly. That's the success that Heretics is having right now.
Well, I mean, they're having success in every layer.
Yeah, you're right. That's just one of the aspects of success that they've had so far in this first map. I mean, brother,
And he even stays to try to get a second. Almost does. Icy gets dinked.
Yeah. Jeez. That Killjoy Molly will be broken, though, so finally a bomb plant down for the way at G2. It's been, what, probably like 5-6 rounds since that's happened.
Yeah. Leaf might get a really good timing here.
Yeah.
As he's going to be on the late flank.
He
And that
has to go
lockdown is
huge.
going to spread him out a little bit here.
He has the Bulldog to do it as well. But, oh, sound made at the very last second.
Yeah, Wu won't miss that, man. It seemed like there was a window of opportunity, but lo and behold, Heretics slams it shut again. The defuse is held.
It's that Killjoy ult from Benji Fishy and the disrespectful one-tap on a Jonah P at the end to rub dirt in the wound of this half.
G2 have built their pedigree around never giving in, never giving up, right? You think about their history, the fact that they stay together, they grind through Ascension, all of the stuff that went down with that, and then they decide we're never giving in, we're never giving up, we're staying together. They qualify for Shanghai in the exact same way with this grit to it, where it isn't always pretty, it isn't always sexy, but man, it works. But right now, that grit is just getting punched in the mouth. Like,
and at some point, yeah, it's gonna come to bite you in the butt because you gotta win the first map sometimes. I mean, you can't always have these reverse series comebacks, right? As we're just yapping off, it's the Heretics show once more.
This double op is so difficult for them to get through. Finally, a couple of them falling, but they're still in play.
One enemy remains.
Wood is playing so close up here. Gets the last kill with the shorty. A 10-2 half. The way of the number 2 seed from EMEA.
One of the most convincing halves of Icebox we've seen apart from T1 against G2.
It's just so dominant. It's so clean.
There's a replay of what was happening while we were waffling off. Patatek was the one getting aggressive here. And this was the key success. It really wasn't Woot going overly aggro in the beginning of the rounds. It was the other players that were getting a lot of the value.
I mean, full vibes up. They're getting everything they want and then some, to be honest. To be up 10-2 against G2 on their map pick is great. We've got Mika standing by with the super fan from G2 who's probably not having as much fun as he would like. Take it away, Mika.
I'm standing here right now with a G2 super fan, Eric Sang. Eric, thank you so much for taking time to chat with us. Why G2? I'm curious. What began, your love story with G2, or your how much of a fan you are for this team?
Well, I first started off in 2018 when Caps joined G2. I was a League fan. I was there 2019. I was there at 3 a.m. watching them losing to FunPlus Phoenix 0-3. I stick with the team. My favorite player, Caps, also stick with the team, and I embrace the team's culture. I like to yap. I like to talk crap, and it's part of being G2. It's part of being the G2 army.
Oh, that is so good to hear, especially since, win or lose, you stand by your team, right? Now, I understand that G2, being a G2 fan, rather, has given you a lot of friends all over the world. Is that right?
Yes. One time in London, actually, I was there to study, and my other friend, who I've never met in person for 3 years, was also in London. So I said, you're in London, I'm in London. How about we meet up and we have a little dinner? And that's what we did, and we took a picture. We never seen each other for the first 3 years, although we know each other and talk to each other every day.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. And of course, how are you enjoying the event that you get to see G2 here play live in Shanghai?
Well, I've been to a little live events because I was in a place where most live events are not taking place. So this is a really great opportunity for me and to see G2 especially and to support them. I think this is a really great opportunity, and I thank the manager and I thank the community manager, Flap, for giving me the opportunity.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, you have some fans here in the audience, so let's get back to the game.
I mean,
So wholesome.
yeah.
And a well-spoken man, too.
Yeah, I love it. To be able to carry over that level of fandom from one game to the next is just super dope. Unfortunately, he's watching his team get obliterated. But it's just map 1, and it was just the attack half. We've seen really silly things happen in this tournament. I just think about a couple of, maybe an hour ago, with those crazy potential comebacks that all ended up being fake, unfortunately, but maybe this is where something real happened.
Yeah, and this comp could thrive more on the defensive side. You don't have you don't have to worry about having to scale up against everybody from Heretics.
And honestly, you know, we talked a lot about Leaf in the previous half and how he was such a terror on Icebox, dropping crazy amounts of kills on the Outlaw specifically. The value he was able to provide is great. Maybe on this defensive half he can settle in a little bit more, but Heretics have just slipped the net on him again. All of this noise you made, all of his utility A, and they're already rotating back B. Joan P's gonna get pushed off this angle. Drops the spit, but gets dropped in exchange.
Through the vulnerable, now Benji Fishy.
Oh, he's tucking too. He's playing it so well. He's not aggressively going to get under tunnel. He's gonna hold the line. Here the rotations come through, and then they can fight. Trent will fall. Benji Fishy cleans him up. Again, Heretics was still every member up.
It's just so clean.
Finally,
Yeah.
a kill going the way of G2 as Wood falls.
But he gets dropped down to 20 HP even with that, and now Patatek will take off Leaf from the server, and it's just all left alone to the IGL at G2.
With 10 HP, not even able to fully get the heal off. Heretics will get the second pistol. They'll get up 11-2, and that, I mean, that might be the map.
It was the way that Heretics just got that entry onto B through the Viper pit. Wu so confident to take that 1v1. And then after Wu gets this kill, that activates Benji Fishy to go for his lurk timing. It's like they're falling like dominoes, and it's all because of the teamwork and chemistry from Heretics.
And I think Heretics still continue to do a good job of like catching swing timing, stuff where you're not really expecting it, right? I think about Woot's peak mid, I think about Boo's swing there.
Yeah.
Because you put a spit down and you go, okay, they're not gonna challenge that. I have time to reposition, but
they took full advantage of that momentum.
G2 forcing up here. 3 stingers.
You have to. You literally have to. This is it, like you said. I mean, what are you going to play for a tie from 12-2?
No.
Nobody does that.
Knife not going to tag anyone. The slow orb's already going out. Heretics don't have a ton of info on the other side of the map, so you imagine they're going to want to commit here. And honestly, they've been so successful in their plan A that I can't imagine they deviate from it here.
And I don't think the plant will get delayed either. Shock Molly doesn't hit the mark, so even the utility right now for G2 is just not there.
Just off. And Heretics now, they can push the pace. They can take the fight to G2. It's been the way they found success this entire map. Can they do it again? Boo not able to connect. Those singers, they're causing problems. Rian has one of his own, but the Bulldog is the one you have to be worried about, only getting 2. Rian's left alone. G2 on the force, they get another round.
Something about the stinger in these games when you're just down so much and you just don't care, you run and gun, it gets so much value. Heretics, I think they made a big mistake there, getting aggressive when they had gun advantage. They could have played back, they could have just used the long-range battles.
Yeah, sure.
We saw player back yellow actually get, what, 2 kills from that spot? Had they just ran the clock down, they would have done a really good job, maybe secured the round even.
Right.
But they have such a huge buffer to work with. I'm sure they're not worried. It's a throwaway round. All right, whatever, we got Eco.
Yeah.
You know, nothing to panic about. We still got 2 of our timeouts. They have none.
G2 with the gun advantage here. I believe it's the first time all map they've had the gun advantage.
I mean, Wu was like, all right, YOLO.
He's just fully sending.
Yeah, he really sent that. That was insane. Dashed right onto the orb.
Here.
Got dropped by Icy, and now a freeze to the round.
The thing you got to be cautious about, though, is yes, I mean, it's a massive lead right now. It would be Herculean for them to pull this off. But I will say this. I want to go back to that grit conversation we were having earlier. What has built G2 up until this point, how they've been molded, how they've been put together, it's honestly in the faces of things like this.
Yeah.
Where you've been destroyed in the first half and everybody's counting you out except for the 5 guys that are on the stage and the coaches behind them. That's where the G2 magic tends to happen. So, I mean, yeah, it's a big lead, but flawless rounds like that, they're going to get confidence together. Eco's going to start to stack. All of a sudden, you've got ults that are starting to come together at the same time, and maybe
you have a chance. Yeah. And even if you don't secure this map win, even if it's a fake comeback,
right?
Just, I speak about this a lot. Getting that confidence, getting warmed up going into your map pick is so important.
It's massive.
You have to have something going for you when you go into the next map. I mean, I guess against T1, I mean, they proved to come back from a 13-1, and it didn't really matter, but it just feels better as a player to know that, okay, I can actually sit these little kids down, these kids, these fraggers, these dominators of Heretics down, going into your own map pick. And then make it go to a map 3.
Did he recall the turret? I think he recalled the turret before, and they cleared the nano.
Good timing on that. Should come up shortly then. I'll have it again. Maybe there was a molly that was about to land there on top of it.
Yeah, it was. And so they cleared. I mean, they were able to clear out the molly as well. But now Leaf has his turret back online.
A missed molly. Speaking of mollies, that molly is supposed to land at that other side of yellow.
Yeah.
Either way, it'll force Valen to give that entire area up.
Dude, they knew Wood is there, but
yeah, they
was
can't
nothing
really punish.
there's nothing to really cause punishment. You're right. So you can slow him all you want. He's still going to accelerate a little bit later.
And while all this spam is happening, Leaf was so worried about the lurk from Benji Fishy.
Yeah.
But Benji Fishy this whole time, he's just been chilling. He's just chilling in spawn.
No real need to accelerate. No real need to push the pace.
Cutting noise on a map like this can be so devastating when you're not running a KO.
Yeah, with
that KO dagger, when it comes back up, you're able to get the info again.
Right.
But when you don't run it, I mean, Heretics are able to do this and actually explode with their own. But Valen, he's woken up.
He was quiet in the first half, but Rien's might just be louder. He's taking a lot of damage for it, but Benji Fishy's going to have a really nice late timing here through Kitchen.
And the lurk is now just activating this late into the round.
Forget it. There's no way you expect that.
No.
And they've got the Hunter's Fury out from Rien's. Boo on the swing is Chaos. Causes problems. Rien's with 4.
It's impossible.
Trent's tagged. And a statement made. Heretics get to map point.
Match point.
I spoke about how nice it would be to run a KO on the defensive side, to have that cooldown come back up and get the dagger for the info. This time around, it was Valen who got 2 of those entries, but another collat. Rien's, he was so cold in this round.
Enes, you are insane, bro. Nice, Enes.
That's the other tough thing about playing in a situation like this is, you know, you've been rolled, you don't feel like you can get anything going. All of a sudden, you're starting to put something together. Valen's getting 2Ks, and then Rien's just counter punches with something that's even more impressive. And you go, well, I mean, that's demoralizing. That's frustrating to be on the other side.
They just strip your belt away from you. It's just like a terrible feeling. Got to feel for G2 right now, but you got to give praise to how Heretics have played this map. I mean, the back and forth battle they had against FPX, this is a big, big improvement.
I mean, Heretics have played this borderline perfectly.
Yeah. Apart from what, the anti-eco that they had when they got eco'd?
Yeah, and they maybe pushed a little bit too far, but other than that, Heretics have just been insane.
The timing on their aggression on that last round, using the KO dagger onto site. Yeah, Valen got 2, but even like just the idea of it.
Icy's not able to land the shot with the op. Got to take a step back. Now they know that the op is in play, and they know where it is.
Oh, incredible finesse from Woot.
Way.
I think he might catch Trent off guard right here. Whoa, the shots don't connect. And Trent, he had to back up for his life.
Woot's still threatening too.
Okay.
When he hits the spam on the Jonah P through the wall.
Jonah P gets hit in the crossfire of a battle that was a 1v1 of Trent and Woot. He just showed up.
3 HP, Boo almost gets away, but will fall.
Look at this late lurk again, all the way from A site this time.
Icy, still with the op in hand. Jonah P joining the fold once more. As Benji Fishy's going fast with it, trying to capture timing, and again, it's all down to timing. If he can strike at the right time, Valen with 2 massive kills, but now Benji Fishy has arrived at the scene, gets his 1. Rien's and Benji Fishy both weak. It's a 1v1. Valen's gonna hold the defuse. That's perfect.
Benji Fishy makes a statement at the end, killing Icy, and that's that operator gone, but the speed up from G2 is what was the factor in this round, and that Gecko wingman defusing the bomb.
Yeah.
Good job, little guy. There's no way for Benji Fishy to know that that's on there.
No.
Maybe a lack of communication from the rest of his team.
That Dizzy did so much work.
It was really good, really well timed. Had G2 not jumped the gun a little bit early there, I mean, Benji Fishy activates, the round's over, map point, the match is done.
But again, they stick around. Woot with blades now. They have 2 other ults on the side of Heretics as well. No op this time on the side of the defense, but Trent with his ult. He's playing really far up here too. Gonna get tagged by the knife. The drone is down, very reminiscent to what we saw in the first half, and now the lockdown dropped.
And I wonder if Woot tries to take a timing on the rotations from G2 or if he just plays the discipline game and just waits for this lockdown.
I thought he was going to for a second.
Yeah, it looked like he was gearing up towards it, but he's playing the discipline game.
Rians has a really nice area that he can tuck into here. Is Trent getting that ult off, getting a tag on a little bit. Woot was nowhere to go, but is there any way to punish him? Yeah, he finally falls. Valorant and Leaf providing the frags that are needed, clearing everything that's trouble. And yeah, Boots Pit's been up this entire time, but he's gonna have to close the round out himself. Position given away with the spam. Trent cleans him up. G2 gets a 6.
Trent missed the first 200 Furies, but that connection from Icy's Thrash, he was able to sync up and actually tag Woot down to, what, half HP.
Yeah.
That opened up Valen to just have the confidence of jumping into that Viper's Pit. And that bomb not going down in that scenario, that was everything for G2.
Good shit.
I can't believe Benji Fishy's sitting at 24-6.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
he has played really freaking good Valorant. All Heretics has, but G2 are starting to put together a little something. They've been rubbing these 6 together for what feels like the last couple of rounds, and now we're starting to see smoke come out. But is it going to be enough to put together a fully fledged fire?
Wasn't enough to get that kill onto Woot, but he did get him down to 17 HP. So that is a little bit of an advantage for G2 going into this round.
Honestly, they have a huge advantage here. It's just one rifle.
With the guns for sure.
Yeah.
Drone got immense value here.
Yeah.
Saw at least two players. Shock doesn't connect onto Woot. Barely survives.
I think this is all for Boo to find a little bit of space on the other side of the map. And that's exactly what he's doing. But Jonah P waiting close by. He knows that as the wall goes up, there's the threat.
Oh, he
And
was
now
ready.
Yeah, now he spotted him.
Good call.
Boo down to 20. The wall goes up. He knows. He's trying to get out behind it. But that might have been enough for G2 to step back a little bit here.
It was enough to get Leaf to go back to mid, but there's still 3 players of G2 geared up and ready at this A site. An early Dizzy there.
And a flash. Valen having to tuck. Leaf getting one with that outlaw, excuse me. Oh,
no.
He had nowhere to go. That gets a little messy there. But with 13 seconds left, they have to wait the lockdown out. So it's going to be a map flurry to get out onto the site. What util do they have? No spits, no nanos. Boo's going to get tagged.
No time.
They can't get in. Leaf wins them the round. They just don't have to frag it out. It's perfect.
This guy is still going. Yeah, the round's over. They lost it, but now they can all upgrade. And their economy will be set up for the next couple of rounds because of that.
And G2's is not.
Yeah, they've been winning these rounds, but it's been really costly.
They dropped, what, 2 rifles at the end of that round?
I was honestly kind of worried about that early Killjoy ult, but it ended up working in their favor because of how Valen got stuck onto site, onto that gen area. Rians, I don't know if it was a dart or a drone that tagged him there. Basically opened up the opportunity to have a 4v3 in that moment. That was a Killjoy ult invested, though, from the side of G2. And that could open up Team Heretics to get some of their ultimates online potentially in these future rounds and close this one out. That's why you see this timeout. They're talking it over. It's not quite in that worrying range that we were talking about for G2, but in this case for Heretics, it's starting to build up there.
Yeah, and I think for G2, it's an opportunity for Josh to talk to his troops.
Yeah.
He hasn't been able to talk to them since, what, round 9?
That's a very solid point.
So the timeout, again, and yes, halftime as well, but an opportunity for him to adjust things with the way the half has gone. And it's been so successful for G2, you wonder what kind of adjustments he had to offer there. I imagine it's just little things here and there, because they've done super well up until this point.
It's been a way better defensive side for G2.
And again, that's where they were so successful in Americas.
Just
Yeah.
cool down.
The floods onto the A site, like we saw in this round. But the timing is still a little bit off for me, for G2. That Dizzy was a little bit too early, in my opinion.
But
usually it's a little bit more cleaned up.
Sure.
But I mean, it was the right timing. I mean, a lot of players on site were hit by the knife. I understand why you'd want to use it early on.
And it's working.
Yeah.
Trent just spotted 3. He knows everyone's here. Wood of course dashes forward anyway. He's gotten backside.
Blocking sight.
No real ult on the side of G2 here. Nothing to flush them out, so they would just have to frag their way through.
Oh,
That shock.
he missed it
Missing
completely.
the mark.
I feel like that's happening with a lot of utility we've seen so far from G2.
Now the only ult that was on the board has been triggered. Patatek's ult. Gonna slow things down for a little bit. Any attempt at G2 not having ults, not having utility now. They're gonna have to wait it out a little bit longer as Valorant has fallen. Is this as far as they get? A big kill from Trent though. As Woot holds the line, tapping, waiting for the dare, waiting for the dash, and it comes out. Leaf pens him through the wall.
A lot riding on Jonah P right now, but he doesn't check Nest.
And there just wasn't enough time either. Just when it seemed like G2 had something going, Heretics slammed the door on him. 13-7 as Icebox goes their way. We'll see if Ascent has a little bit of something else to tell. We'll see you guys on the other side.